about that? I'm so happy that everyone could come tonight. We have, I think, a record-breaking crowd. I'm looking at 109 folks here, and that's always an exciting thing when we break the 100 mark. So briefly, for those who don't know me, again, my name is Karen Dion. I'm a USA Today and internationally best-selling author of psychological suspense that's set in Michigan's Upper Peninsula wilderness. My two books in that setting are The Marsh King's Daughter and The Wicked Sister. And both are published by G.P. Putnam's Sons in the US and in dozens of other countries. The Marsh King's Daughter was named one of the best books by iBooks and many other booksellers and reviewers when it published. And this fall, it was released as a major motion picture by Lionsgate, starring Daisy Ridley and Ben Mendelsohn. And it's on streaming now and DVD and all of that stuff. So that's pretty exciting. Now we're going to move on to our speakers. And I'm going to do this alphabetically. Charlaine Harris. Charlaine Harris in 2023 marked her 42nd year as a published writer. Her books range from conventional mysteries to mysteries with supernatural elements to full-on supernatural adventures. She's written standalones and she has several series. I would be talking all evening if I was to list all of her books and the things and the accomplishments that she's done. I want to mention, though, that the television series True Blood was based on Charlaine's Sookie Stackhouse novels. Hallmark Movies and Mysteries is still showing a series of movies created around her Aurora Teagarden character. And for 2 seasons, Midnight Texas was on the air. 2 other books in her series are in production. Her current book is All the Dead Shall Weep, and this is number 5 in her Gunny Rose series, which is alternative American female gunslinger novels. Doesn't it sound awesome? Publishers Weekly said the result may be the best Gunny Rose adventure yet. So Charlaine, we're so happy to have you with us this evening. Honored and thrilled.
Thank you.
Eriq LaSalle is an actor, director, producer, and storyteller, and is best known to worldwide television audiences for his award-winning portrayal of Dr. Peter Benton on the medical drama ER. Does he look familiar? I'm sure he does. He was educated at Juilliard. So acting, yes, and his credits range from Broadway to film roles. Eriq is another one that I could just go on and on. He's a crime writer. He's honed his craft over many seasons of Dick Wolf Entertainment Team, 4 years as executive producer and director on Chicago PD. He's directed episodes of Law and Order SVU, Law and Order Organized Crime. I like this thought, though. Although he has many titles like actor, director, and producer, he prides himself most on the all-inclusive title of storyteller. That seems most appropriate. And yes, he writes books. Laws of Annihilation is the 3rd in the Martyr Maker series. It came out in October. It's in paperback, so you can pick it up. It's in print right now. I pulled this quote from Publishers Weekly. LaSalle captures the racial tensions of contemporary New York City in his gripping 3rd thriller. He gets the details right while keeping his foot on the gas. This series has yet to stumble. So I can't wait to learn more about your series and the books again in the breakout room. Thanks for coming tonight, Eriq.
For having me, yes.
Alphabetically, Hank is next. We have Hank Phillippi Ryan. She is the USA Today best-selling author of 14 psychological thrillers, and she's won the genre's most prestigious award, 5 Agathas, 5 Anthonys, and the coveted Mary Higgins Clark Award. Hank is also an investigative reporter for Boston's WHDH-TV, and she's won 37 Emmys for her groundbreaking journalism. National reviewers have called her a superb and gifted storyteller and a master of suspense. Her newest is the page-turning standalone One Wrong Word, which is a cat and mouse thriller about the power of persuasion. One Wrong Word is publishing on February 6th. That's 2 weeks.
Yes, I know.
Are you biting your fingernails? And
yes, indeed.
Yes, it's always an exciting time. It doesn't matter if you have 40 books published. It's still exciting when you're on the cusp of publication of your newest book. So congrats on that. Booklist says Ryan has built a solid repertoire of unique thrillers and this one is no exception. Some of you know Hank as the host of Crime Time on A Mighty Blaze. She's the co-host of First Chapter Fun and the co-host of The Back Room. She lives with her husband, a renowned civil rights and criminal defense attorney in Boston. And last but by no means least, Danielle Trussoni. Danielle is the New York Times bestselling author of The Ancestor, Angiology, Angiopolis, and which are all New York Times notable books. Imagine that. And then she also has 2 memoirs, The Fortress and Falling Through the Earth. And the latter was named one of the 10 best books of the year by the New York Times Book Review. Danielle previously wrote the monthly horror column for the New York Times Book Review. She's a graduate of the Iowa Workshop and winner of the Missioner Copernicus Society of America Fellowship, and her work has been translated into more than 30 languages. Danielle's latest book is The Puzzle Master. You have a copy of it there? Yeah, isn't that an amazing cover?
I'm going to do this so that you see the little scintillating.
Right. Oh, I do see it. Yes, that's cool. It's so The Puzzle Master is a tantalizing, addictive thriller in which humankind, technology, and the future of the universe itself are at stake. It was chosen as the best book of the year by the Washington Post, Pop Sugar, Book Reporter, Crime Reads, and Book List says it's a surefire hit, an ambitious story, expertly told, and there's a sequel, right? Coming soon?
There is in October.
October, called The Puzzle Box. So we'll be enjoying that, and we'll get to hear all about first The Puzzle Master tonight in the breakout rooms. So again, thank you all for coming. That's enough of the introductions. Now we're going to have a little fun. We have a 20 questions game, and we call it 20 questions. It's really 12 questions because 20 questions would have us here all night long, and that would be fun, but it would kind of defeat the purpose of being able to talk to the authors yourself, right? But we have cards, backroom cards. We have questions on the back. And I'm going to ask the questions in the order that I see folks on the screen. So Charlaine, you're up first.
Oh, good.
I think considering what you write, this is a good question. This is perfectly random, but it says, what scares you the most?
War.
War.
War scares me the most.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I couldn't agree more. You know, sometimes people go a little lighthearted and they say spiders or, you know, thunder or something, but yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being lighthearted.
Yeah. So just briefly, would you write about war then in your books, even though it scares you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you have to do what scares you.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, that's been the key to my whole career.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then Danielle, what was the book that made you want to be a writer?
Oh, that's hard because there wasn't one book. Although I remember skipping school in high school with Edgar Allan Poe, a big collection of Edgar Allan Poe's stories. And I remember reading Murder on the Rue Morgue and being like, oh, this is it. I love this so much. And I kind of never stopped loving crime fiction and France. It's set in France, or writing. So probably that would be the most compelling.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? How it's just something about a certain thing just speaks to us, and yeah, we're all in then. That's very fascinating. Thank you. Hank, what was the title of the first thing you ever wrote?
Oh, the first thing I ever wrote that I remember specifically was probably a news story, my very first news story as a radio reporter. And I was assigned to cover an armed robbery and this sounds so weird, I was assigned to cover an armed robbery at a store that sold only electric trains. It was very niche. And what they thought they were going to get at the store, I don't know. So I was 20, I think, and I was so nervous on my first day on the job, and I had to write the story. So the guy who had the proprietor of the store was behind the desk shaking with fear. The guy had a gun. The police had arrived. They caught the bad guy, and here was the proprietor. And I put my little mic in front of his face and said, "How did you feel when the man put the gun to your head?" And, he told me. When I got back to the station, the news director called me into the office, and I thought I was going to get a pat on the head for doing such a good job. And he said, "The police detective at the scene of this robbery just called me." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "He wants to know why you're asking how the guy felt. We don't ask people how they feel. We just ask what happens." He goes, "Nobody cares how the guy felt." And I remember this so profoundly because honestly, this was 50 years ago. And I remember thinking, I don't think that's right. But it didn't seem like the time to contradict him. So I said something like, "Yes, sir," and just went on. But I remember that so well, what a lesson that was.
Yeah. So you went to fiction where you can write about how people feel, right?
Yeah, exactly. And now, that question is we roll our eyes when people ask that because it's so common. That's what people ask because that is what's important, obviously. So I was.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Thank you. Eriq, again, these questions are random, but it does seem appropriate for you. Do you have any hidden talents?
A few.
They're so well hidden, I haven't discovered them yet. Wow, that's a rant. I don't know.
I don't know. Do you play spoons or
Something you don't know about?
I think it's I don't know, I'm a big ping pong player, pool player. So those are I'm pretty good on the table. So and I guess I've been doing that long enough. So I guess I'm pretty good at that. So a lot of people, but I think the big thing that no one ever knows, and it's definitely a passion. I've been salsa dancing for like the last 20 years. So I'm a salsa dancer. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now I have to.
But you guys can't tell anyone, okay? This is
it's our secret.
Right now, the authors have brought books that they would like to recommend, books that impress them, because of course all authors are also readers. So Charlaine, we'll start with you. What book have you read recently that you think everybody should read?
I'm a big fan of Kevin Wignall's, and I think I've read everything he's written. His books are very authoritative. They come with a lot of conviction. They're not all about the same people, but they're definitely thrillers, and usually the body count is really, really high.
Danielle, what book are you recommending tonight?
So I am recommending Knife River by Justine Champagne. But anyway, this is about a woman whose mother has disappeared. And this woman goes back home to Knife River in Massachusetts, and she and her sister try to find her missing mother.
Hey, what book are you recommending tonight?
I am recommending The Truth About the Devlins by the fabulous Lisa Scottolini, she's just such a rock star, and she is just such a role model in every way. And Lisa Scottolini is absolutely a must buy for me. And this is fast paced. It has heart, it has intelligence, it has twists. It's suspenseful. That's sort of trademark Lisa Scottolini of a page turning thriller with, on the back it says, "Meet the Devlins. Are they a family or a conspiracy?" I mean, that's all you need to know. It's fantastic. Lisa Scottolini is marvelous.
Thank you. And Eriq, what is your recommendation?
S.A. Cosby.
Yeah.
Yes. This book is so great. All the Sinners Bleed. He does sort of, by his own admission, sort of a hillbilly noir. He's a big Southern guy, and he just writes about these characters that are so colorful. And so this is the third book that I've read from him. But he's an amazing writer, and he's pretty much set the literary world on fire in Alaska. He's just blowing it up.
Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed this taste of what a backroom event is like. The best part comes immediately after, when the audience is divided into 4 breakout rooms and the authors visit each room in turn. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like because these relaxed face-to-face conversations between authors and readers are the hallmark of our backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded. What's said in the backroom stays in the backroom.